Experience backstage access, meet the pros, and explore muscle building insights. VNM-tv, the latest bodybuilding news.
Get back on stage. He's like, go to sleep.
After Prague?
Yeah,
then you had like how many shows?
Yeah,
8 shows?
Like 8 shows. We got stuck in London for Hurricane Sandy. And they lost our luggage. We're like, stayed at this hotel, and I was like, me and Chris just, we were there for like 4 extra days, and I kept going, man, I don't want to eat, Chris. I was like, I just want to get back on my diet. He was laughing. He was like, I know what you mean. I was like, no, really. I want to get back on stage. Like, I'm so pumped. But, it was a great year, and I enjoyed every second of it, and it just hasn't hit me. Because I just, literally just want to get back on stage. It's like the hardest month was like from October to January in that training. I just keep thinking, okay, what do I need to do for this year? What do I need to do for this year? What do I need to do for this year? And when you're sitting at home with a remote in your hand, it's like you're not even thinking about what you just did. You're like thinking like the journey ahead.
Yeah. I guess when I spoke to Kevin, and he was like, at the time when you retire, then it's all gonna sink down, what you have reached, what you've accomplished, and stuff like that. But at this point, it's just dust off your shoulders, focus on the next show, and try to get a better placing or try to win the show.
It's just always trying to improve.
Yeah.
I talked to Kevin before I actually went out to train with Charles, like the morning before I left, and he had some really good pointers and tips about being one of the top bodybuilders, and how he was able to consistently stay on top.
Of course. The muziek zegt er.
Like when you talk to Kevin is so intense that I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, tell me you gotta get in the head of your opponents. You gotta know their tendencies when they pose. You gotta know their pose before they do it, Shawn. I mean, which is right, because last year, before I qualified for the Olympia, my biggest thing was I wanted to beat Tony Freeman. Because the year before I did Dallas and took 3rd, I walked off stage and Tony was like, "You gotta bring it, son." I'm like thinking,
you gotta bring it, son. You gotta bring it, son.
And I used that in 2012 as my motivation, like the entire 2012 training. I keep hearing Tony go, "You gotta bring it, son." I'm like thinking, son of a bitch. Like, dude, I just went out there. This is my 2nd year as a pro. I just went out there, and I'm heading to the Olympia, my 3rd pro show. I'm excited, and Tony's like, "You gotta bring it, son." I was like, fuck.
It's stuck in your head. You gotta
the entire 2012, like every day, that's the only thing I heard. And the thing was, I had so much respect, and still do, so much respect for Tony, because his X-frame, and I used to look in a magazine at after Kevin and Flex and all those guys retired. I was watching guys like Tony Freeman and Dexter Jackson, because I had so much respect for him. To see my 2nd pro show was competing against him. It's like playing a game of basketball with Michael Jordan. You went out there and gave it all you got. You gotta bring it, son.
You gotta bring it, son.
Damn, right? I just gave you everything I got.
Yeah. At this point, point, yeah.
But I used it as my motivation, man, and it was. I remember when we got to Tampa, I heard it to Tony. Tony has that look in his face, like.
You brought it. You brought it.
He's like, I hope you brought it. He's like, I'm like, I was like, there you go again. Like, why is he picking on me, you know? And we went out there and it was between me and Tony. And I remember after the finals, Tony was talking to a friend of mine. He was like, there's no way Shawn could peak in Dallas. I'm going to get him in Dallas. And he didn't bother me, but I was just like, wow, okay. And I'm working with, in my opinion, the best technician, not a guru in the sport. It has nothing to do with me. I know what I'm capable of doing. And he's like, you know, there's no way Shawn could peak next week. You know, I'll beat him next week in Dallas. And I'm like, so I got back to the room and I looked at Chris and he goes, you know, some of my brothers. And they're like, all right, let's celebrate. This is your first victory as IBB Pro. I'm like, no, I'm good. And I looked at Chris and I was like, Chris, I want to be better in 6 days. I was like, I don't care who beat me. Tony's not going to beat me. I was like, you know, he told me to bring it. I brought it. Then he's telling me I'm not going to beat him 6 days later. And my brothers were like, oh, come on, we got to go out and celebrate. And I looked over at Chris. I was like, can I have some oatmeal and protein powder? And they were like, what? Dude, you just won your first show. You want oatmeal and protein powder at 10 o'clock at night? And I'm like, yeah. I was like, I need to be better in 6 days. And I ate my oatmeal, my protein powder, and went to bed. You know, and we got to Dallas, and everybody was like, oh, there's no way you can look better than you did last week. And I'm like, dude, I beat me from last week yesterday. Like, you know, today is something completely different. And I was a good friend with Ed Nunn. And Ed was like, why are you so calm, dude? And I'm like, because I don't like this look. It's like something ain't right. He goes, are you telling me you're better than you was last week? I'm like, yeah. He goes, there's no way, dude. I was like, dude, I can't even straighten my legs right now. I'm so dry. And he was like, oh, fuck. I was like, I gotta be Tony again, man. And he goes, this can't be good. And when he saw me strip down backstage, he goes, oh, shit. He goes, what did you do different? I was like, nothing, dude. Just told Chris I need to be better and let him do his thing. But Tony, he pushed me the entire time from Tampa all the way to Prague because I didn't care who beat me. I just know Tony wasn't going to beat me.
Yeah.
But you know, it was a good thing that it happened the way it did because I become really good friends with Tony also. You know, along that journey, and I learned a lot from him. Same thing with Dexter. I went down to train with Dexter before. I was guest posing at his show. I went down and trained with him for a week. And it was a really good learning experience, man, because it wasn't so much about competing. It's the do's and the don'ts that he taught me. And I'm just picking his brain every day. You know, and I've been friends with Dexter since 2001. And Dexter was the first person that ever told me, he was like, you're gonna be a pro one day, kid.
You gotta bring it, son. You gotta be a pro one day, kid, you know?
I'm always the guy that picked up. But in 2001, I saw Dexter in North America, and he goes, man, I gotta keep my eye on you. He goes, you're gonna be a pro one day. And I was laughing. I was like, Dexter's telling me he has to keep an eye on me. You know, but when I went down and trained with him, and after I guest posed at his show, he was like, you're going to win Tampa and Dallas. And I didn't take him serious. I was just kind of like, dude, I was just trying to qualify for the Olympia, dude. He goes, no, dude. He started texting people. Because we trained one morning. He was like, let me see how you look. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, he goes, no, well, let me see how you look, man. And I did. He was like, oh, shit. Yeah, he started texting DJ and all these other guys. He goes, man, I just took a look at Rhoden. He goes, the kid's looking real good, man. He goes, he's going to be the one to beat. tell me he's not going to invite me back to his house. Like after the Olympics, like, there's no way I'm inviting you back down here, dude. Yeah, but the good thing was, man, I get to see, when I was in LA, I trained at 11 o'clock in the morning. He normally trains right after me with Charles. You know, so that atmosphere, I tell people, if you go out to Venice to train, you don't get motivated and see a result, I mean, something is wrong. Because in any given day, there'll be 6 to 10 pros training. Any given day, man. And just to walk in the gym and look in the wall, it's like, holy crap. To see all the great bodybuilders that, you know, been through that gym and train, it's like, even though they're alive, it's like their ghosts just kind of hang around the gym.
I've been there once.
Yeah, you walked in there, you just, if you're not careful, you spend half the time training looking at the wall. Oh,
Yeah.
like, oh,
Only
shit.
legends.
Yeah, like all these guys. And I said that to Charles when I went to train with him. I was like, because next up was just like, dude, you got to come out and train. You got to come out and train with Charles. And I was just like, all right. You know, so I was at the Fit Expo. Charles came over to the booth. Ronnie was like, when are you coming down, man? I'm like thinking, oh, shit. Next week? You know, so I found a place and went out there right away. And it's a very, very humbling experience. It doesn't matter how strong you think you are. Like working with Charles, it's like, forget you can squat 1,000 pound, dude. That doesn't matter when you're here. It's all about angles. Like how much tension can I keep on that muscle that you train in for the entire hour without killing yourself? Strict forms.
I've seen some of his training. It ain't about the weight, you know.
It's not about the weight, man, but I was...
It's the way you move it, you know, from A to B.
When I went out there, I was 250. And when I left to go to the Arnold, I was 272 in 6 weeks.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, I couldn't believe it. I was just like, okay, what happened here? And I said to him, I was like, I don't understand why more of the younger pros, the new pros doesn't, take the opportunity to just, this should be like a class that you take after you turn pro.
Like, okay, yeah.
Like, okay, listen, now you're a new pro, these are the do's and the don'ts. Plus, you need to make 2 trips. One to Venice Goals, and one to Steve and Bev Francis Powerhouse Gym. Like, you need to set foot in those gyms, train for a couple of days, because it's the experience is it's like a memory of a lifetime. In both of those gyms. And I remember when I went up in January to train at Steve's gym, and I was just like, and it's like, that's where Ronnie deadlift 800 pounds 5 weeks out. I'm like thinking,
So,
okay. And he goes, and out back he was lunging with 225 on his back. I'm like thinking, yeah, those days are never gonna happen again. And he was like, find me somebody deadlifting 800 pounds a couple weeks out from the Olympics.
yeah. You would take your arms out of your rotator
those days
cuff.
are nasty. There'll never be another Ronnie Coleman or Darian Yates. I was like, those days are far, far, far away. Steve was like, hey, Ronnie did that over there. Ronnie did that over there. Your boss did that over there. I'm like thinking, so where do I go? Point me to my corner. Man, even just working with Ronnie, traveling with Ronnie, makes you want to train even when you're tired. Because it doesn't matter what time it is, Ronnie's hitting the gym. And even if the gym is closed, he's calling somebody that owns a gym. we were in Australia and we were going to the gym sometime at midnight, sometime at 10 o'clock. It didn't matter. Like at the end of the day, we're flying from state to state. And Ronnie be like, all right, let me see what gym we can get into tonight. Like, Ronnie, we getting at midnight, you know that.
Ronnie's been around everywhere.
He's like, no, we'll find a gym. No problem. We'll find somebody to open a gym. He just motivates you where, you're like, fuck, I gotta go to the gym. It doesn't matter what time we get in. I don't care if I'm tired. Like, Ronnie's going to the gym. I gotta go to the gym. He's like, Ronnie's retired. And he's still hitting the gym. Shit, I gotta go to the gym.
Like he's still preparing for a competition. Yeah.
The thing was, he took like 4 months off. And he's just getting back into training. But he doesn't miss the gym at all. He's like, I gotta go to the gym. Then again, Ronnie doesn't sleep, so before 5 o'clock in the morning, he's wide awake. And he's like, well, that's because this is the time I'll be working as a cop.
So his body still has the same routine.
Still on that clock. Mr. Ronnie Coleman.